So Welcome follows our protagonist James. After finding out his father had passed, James needs to return to the home he and his brother Ezekiel grew up in and himself, more importantly, ran away from. Upon returning to the home, the dark mysteries of the now empty place begin to reveal themselves again as James becomes haunted by the past he shares with this place and, more importantly, his now deceased father. James is faced with two choices: run away again or confront his past.
When I first got the character of James, reading through the script, he's a very complex and in pain character, very angry and in pain. He wants to release that and he wants to put that on his father because of his past traumas and what he's experienced. Not even necessarily what he's experienced, but what he felt he was helpless to do, was to defend his brother and his mother from this tyrant of a father.
So Ezekiel is a very sentimental character. He's the more rational of the two between himself and James. He is of success. The way he dresses, you can see the way he conducts himself. And he's family orientated. He likes to see the good within the bad.
From the first draft, everybody in every department, all the HODs knew that this was going to be challenging. It would challenge sound, it would challenge cinematography, it would challenge visual effects, production design, costume and makeup, because we wanted to tell a story that engages audiences from all walks of life.
Welcome is the culmination of 3 years worth of friendship and relationship building, all coming together to create this one film. And there are no strangers to the team. Even though the film was quite challenging in terms of technicality, logistics, the team managed to stick it through and fight for each other in order to ensure that no obstacle is too great.
The most challenging part about the cinematography would definitely be the going back and forth between the present day and the past. Just that, keeping the lighting continuity and keeping the framing in a way where the flow between scenes made sense cinematically.
Within the flashback scenes, I've not relied too much on diegetic sounds because it's a memory. He won't necessarily remember footsteps and that many diegetic sounds. He'll only necessarily remember the voices and what was said because it's a memory, and that's how memories work. So I rely a lot on the music to kind of fill out those scenes. It sounds fuller and more complete with the music, and that's the aim of the music and the sound design, is not to override each other, but to work together to kind of create a fuller sense of the soundscape and fully realize the intentions of the film, because all of the emotion and the suspense and the thrill comes through the audio department.
Continuity was very challenging. We had a lot of boxes in a lot of the scenes, and to always make sure what books haven't we used yet, what side of this book haven't we seen.
Out of the whole film, the scene that stood out the most for me would definitely be the fire scenes. For both reasons, for the pre-production and the post-production, because I thought the conceptualizing of it was really cool, and how they were going to burn down the house was very interesting. But also in terms of CMS, making it seem like there's a fire when there really isn't.
The visual effects for Welcome was a very collaborative experience, having to work with the lighting department and the cinematography to make sure that the effect really comes to life in a practical way, with the lights actually affecting the actors and the set itself. Having had such a close working relationship has been very helpful experience working in post-production, where we can actually make the effects come more to life, having reference points for understanding how the light is actually interacting on the set and how it's lighting our scene.
This narrative is extremely emotionally and conceptually relevant to myself as a writer and a director, because it deals with something I believe audiences can all relate to, and that is the past we share with the home we grew up in.
We've all experienced positives and negatives in a home, and how we deal with these things and how our past really affects the type of person that we become. James being such an angry person because of his past. Imagine what he would be like if he had a loving father instead of an abusive one. It could have been a completely different story.